Hello and welcome to this workshop on digital wellness, taking care of yourself in a connected world. This workshop is going to cover what digital wellness is, how you can improve your digital wellness, as well as some applications that you can use to help you focus and also calm down in stressful situations. This session is not going to cover some of the other digital skills like creation and things like that, but they will be referenced in this workshop. And additionally, I'm not going to cover mental health diagnosis. This workshop is very much a surface level, but if you do need any additional help outside of this workshop, please make sure to engage with some of the resources I'll leave in the description. If you are a University of Staffordshire student, you can also connect with the mental health team here at the university. So if you do need any support, please engage with those services as well as the resources I'll leave in the description. Digital wellness is about the impact of using digital devices, tools, services, and systems on you as an individual. Now, this relates to things like how you look after your personal health, how you manage your safety online, relationships, and work-life balance in the digital context. So this can include things like, are you using digital data or digital devices to help you track things like personal health goals? This can include things like how you're sleeping, but also can improve how fit and the activities you're doing to improve your fitness are. It can be things like if you're participating in social activities or helping out in the community. And it can also include things like managing things like digital stress, workloads, distractions, and more importantly, where you can find help and support if you're feeling overwhelmed. So what are some of the benefits of improving our digital wellness? Well, first of all, we can gain some mental clarity by recognizing and reducing some of the cognitive overload from having too many applications open, too many apps open, even notifications in the day-to-day life of just having that simple ping on your phone. Understanding and realizing where those come from can help with that. And that leads to you being more focused and engaged and also being more present with others. We're also looking at things like emotional well-being. A lot of applications today are driven to increase dopamine levels by giving you a quick rush of dopamine. For example, TikTok, their short form content that is designed to get you engaged with it from a very quick get-go and release a load of information or a load of entertainment in one short burst. So it's understanding that you can find enjoyment in things that aren't as fast-paced and dopamine-driven. It's also looking at things like doom scrolling. You might have heard this term before, but it's where you will use an application such as Instagram or X (Twitter), and you get drawn into some of the more negative sides of the internet. For example, you might be following someone and you start comparing yourself with their life and you go on a big quote-unquote doom scroll going through their social media, and that can cause some negative mental connotations there. So it's understanding and identifying if you're doing that and what causes you to feel these negative emotions as well. We're also looking at some of these benefits because it can help with productivity and focus. We want to find out how long we're spending online and is it meaningful for us to be doing that. Some interactions will be meaningful, some of them can be more harmful. So it's identifying those as well. And a big element of improving our digital wellness does come down to some of the physical benefits. We all would like to have better posture, better sleep patterns, and also one thing that isn't spoken about as much is we also want to help improve or at least maintain our eyesight without it getting damaged by looking at these devices and screens all day. So I'm going to get started with self-awareness. Now these are some questions that I want to ask you just so you can sit and think and dwell on these, okay? So the first question I'm going to ask is, how do you use technology currently? So think about the applications you use. You can find things like, if you go in your phone, you can see an activity center. So you'll be able to see all of the applications you use in 24 hours. And I think depending on your device, that will extend out to a week. So you're able to see what technology and what applications you are using. And think about how that makes you feel. Did you spend 6 hours last week on TikTok? Did you spend that in a day? How does that make you feel? Are some of the application you're using a little bit more surprising? Are you spending a little bit longer than you would like on them? So this really gives you a good opportunity to do a little bit of a mini activity. Look at the last 24 hours. What made you feel good using a certain app? Did anything drain you? Some areas from that might come out where you're thinking, well, I don't want to spend this long on this application, and now I'm aware of that. And this allows you to set things like application notifications. So if you're spending too long on an application, your device will let you know, hey, you've spent your allocated amount on here. Maybe it's time to press off and take a break, for example. One thing that you can do based on this is digital journaling. Now, this is writing down your screen time and identifying emotional patterns. So if you're using an application when you first wake up, how does it make you feel? Are you using an application when you go to bed? Things like that. It just can really help you track emotional patterns to help you stay away from some of the more negative elements of using technology. One thing you can do as well is digital check-ins. So that means whenever you open an application, just think, why am I opening this application right now? Now, that can be, I'm going to check the news, but think about it in the context of right now. If you're doing something else and you get distracted and open an application, just that question of why am I opening this app can really help you just realize that, oh, I might be a little bit distracted. I need to get back on track. So think about check-ins, think about journals. They are really helpful. You can even take the journaling an extra mile and you can start just journaling your day. So, you know, what did you get up to in the day? Think about the digital context. How long did you spend on your phone? Also, how did your day go? You know, was it good? Was there some negative bits? You can track all these and you can identify things that help you out positively, but also might restrict you negatively as well. We're going to look at how we can improve our digital wellness over the next few slides. But just before we get started, one thing I want to say is that this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Some of these might be helpful and some of these you might not find as helpful. So experiment, find out what helps you and take it from there and develop these into your own to help yourself. Okay, it's all about benefiting you at the end of the day. Some of these can be very helpful. To get started, the first thing I've got down to help us improve is create boundaries for yourself. Like I mentioned in the previous self-awareness slide, you can set limits for certain applications and sites, which can help you from scrolling the day away. The second one I've got is minimize your device use with others. Give your full attention to people that you spend your time with, because this can help maximize the quality of your in-person interactions and connections. It can also look quite distracting if you're hanging out with a group of friends and you pull your phone out to browse Instagram or TikTok. You know, it gives that a little bit more of a disconnect from that friend group there, and it can create some negative atmosphere or distractions. You know, you're there with people. Give your full attention to them. A big one is unfollow people and accounts that don't serve you. What we mean by this is that some accounts are created to make you feel more stressed. They can be there to engagement bait, so it can have an outrageous comment that gets people there, drawing on the negativity. It can also just be that people are trying to share their really exotic life, and it can make you feel quite bogged down. So think about what is adding less joy and what's adding more stress, and do you really need to follow these people? You know, try and focus on the quality of the people and the accounts that you follow rather than the quantity, okay? And I've got a whole slide on my next one, but make sure you wind down for a better night's sleep, okay? Create a space away from your device that at night can help you feel more relaxed and help you get better sleep. So moving straight on from that into the sleep slide, one important thing to note here is that technology, so we're looking at things like screens, so this can be a mobile phone, this can be a tablet, or even a computer. All of these different devices create blue light, which is a portion of light that can influence alertness, which then affects our sleep cycles. Unfortunately, this means that using a device just before bed can have a negative impact on sleeping due to putting our mind at a state of alertness. Some studies show that turning a device off between 30 minutes to 2 hours before sleep can help you get a fuller and more rested sleep. I've left an article in the description box below. It is a great resource to read through, but essentially, if you're trying to get a either fuller night's sleep, whether that is you can't go to sleep straight away, or when you wake up in the morning you feel a little bit groggy, this can be because you've used technology and it's put your mind in a state of alertness, okay? So take a break from tech just before bed. Try 30 minutes. If that doesn't work, maybe stretch that time out a little bit more. If you think 2 hours is too long before you can settle down, maybe you've got a few things to do before bed, try the 30 minutes. See which one helps you. You might find that this does help improve your sleep. Thinking about your physical health when sitting at a desk, your physical health can be affected if you aren't sitting properly. Your posture plays a crucial role in preventing physical discomfort while working at a desk. Poor posture can lead to muscle tensions, spinal misalignment, and long-term pain. So, keep your shoulders relaxed, back straight, and avoid slouching. Ensure that your head is aligned with your spine and your ears should be directly over your shoulders. Try and do regular checks with yourself to make sure that you're sitting upright, especially during long work hours. A good rule of thumb is to keep your screen at least arm's length away. Now, this doesn't just relate to a monitor. This is including your phone. If you bring your phone closer to your face, it does cause eye strain because your eyes don't have to focus as much. So it's really important keeping that screen at least an arm's length away. Also, make sure that you're choosing a chair that provides good lumbar support and allows you to sit with your feet flat on the floor, your knees at a 90-degree angle. Additionally, you've got to make sure that your desk or your chair are at the right height so your arms are comfortably bent at a 90 to 100 degrees angle while you type and use a mouse. And make sure that you keep your monitor just slightly below eye level to avoid straining your neck and eye strain. What we mean by this is if you put your monitor level with your eyes and then just bring it down very slightly, your eyes have less strain because they're not having to look up at a monitor. Typically, when we read, we'll move our eyes down, so starting at that down position just helps the eyes relax just a little bit more. A really important thing to do is take regular breaks. Set a 30-minute timer to remind yourself to stand up, stretch. That includes walking around the room. Even just standing for a few minutes helps things like blood flow and reduces the risk of sitting for too long. Eye health is really important. Device screens can affect your eye health as well. So one rule that I was introduced by my optician is the 20-20-20 rule. So she says every 20 minutes, you want to get up, move away from a screen, look outside a window at a distant object. So in the 20 rule, that's something that's 20 feet away. It can be further, it can be slightly closer, but the aim is to look at something that is far away just so your eyes have to work and, look at something at distance. And look at it for at least 20 seconds, just so your eyes can readjust so they're not all looking at something at close distance all the time. This trick helps reduce eye strain, but also promotes better and positive eye health as well. Additional things to look at then is thinking about your screen's brightness and contrast. You want to try and set this so it's comfortable to look at, but also not too bright so it doesn't negatively impact your eye health as well. Spend time away from your screen. This is really important. You want to be active with at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise a day. This can help you find energy, but it could also make you feel calmer just disconnecting from everything that's the digital space. This can include things like keeping to a schedule. Some people find it really beneficial just to schedule in a certain amount of time away from a device or away from the screen, just so that you can relax, reflect on a day, spend some time doing an activity you enjoy. Being active is such a great way to do this because it's promoting further physical health to help you improve. And another great thing for improving your digital wellness is getting creative. Sometimes we can get caught up in the digital world, and doing something creative gives us the opportunity to develop that skill, but can also help us relax, refocus away from some of the worries, but also gets our creative energies flowing and developing something that we're passionate about, that we want to do, that we want to share with the world. One very important slide is be kind to yourself and others. As I like to use this in my own life, do unto others as you do to yourself. Approach things like the internet as you would in real life. You want to treat others in a kind and respectful way so they can treat you with the kind and respect that you would like and appreciate. I know this can be easier said than done. Being online lets you be anonymous, but it's nice and positive to spread kind, thoughtful, and positive energy through the internet rather than negative. It's easy to get swept away with the negative, so if you do find yourself being negative, is identify what's made you feel this way and can you remove it. I've got a big slide here, and as you can see, this is a desktop. It's not my desktop, but it's a desktop with lots of different tabs and lots of different things open, okay? And I want to say here, organization can lead to a better, clearer clarity and also productivity. So what I've got here is, think about a clean house can equal a clean mind. So declutter your desktops and folders. It helps reduce visual noise. This includes things like browser tabs, wallpapers, and app docs. Do you need them? If not, you can hide them. Things like your desktop, they're saved in multiple places. You don't need that overwhelming amount of information the moment you press on your desktop. These things are in your file explorer and can be accessed in other locations which you can search for. So this can really help you just approach something with a clear mind. Put stuff in folders, get it off your desktop. This includes making sure that you name them correctly as well. I've got a slide on that in a minute. But some of the other things as well is, apply calming tech environments. So this can include dark mode, have focused music, and just minimize that home screen, okay? It can really just help you focus and engage with a task that you're trying to do without getting overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you're looking for. As part of this then, let's look at structured folders. This can help us not only keep that space clear, but also enables you to find content later on with a lot more ease. So think about your overall structures and then number them of importance. On my screen, you can see here, I've got teaching 01 and session planning at 02. This gives me some order in my structures. It will always start with 1, then move down to 2, and then I can go into folders and give those different names as well. As a student, what I would say is it would be a good idea to break these into modules so you can access everything in easier locations. So you can have that module 01 and then give that the title of the module. Then you can open that file and in there you can have some folders. And these can be things like lecture notes, it could be the assignment, the research. All of this just helps categorize everything for ease of use later, rather than you having to dig through different files to find different stuff. You can just easily search that. And that goes for the naming conventions of these documents too. Make sure that you're naming it all correctly. I don't want to hear, I've called this research document 01, because it's not going to be very helpful in actually describing what it is. You want to call it research document around topic X, for example. Even just whacking the date on is really important just for cataloging. You'll be able to find the exact date you worked on something. It's a lot easier than just calling it research document 1, for example. Thinking about focus and motivation, there is a much longer workshop that I'd recommend you check out, but I will just mention it here that technologies do cause distractions, whether this be notifications or different applications popping up. And this means interruptions and distractions. A great way to help you get focused is by using something called the Pomodoro technique, which essentially tricks the brain and giving it a little bit of dopamine as a reward for an uninterrupted session of work. So very briefly, this is working for either 25 or 50 minutes of work and then rewarding yourself with a 10-minute break for 50 minutes of work or a 5-minute break for 25 minutes of work. This can really just help you keep focused for a duration of time and give you a little bit of a break just to reset. That 5 or 10 minutes is great for getting yourself up, move around, get some water, hydrate, but also look out the window, focus on something in the distance. Sometimes, tasks can be overwhelming, especially if you're presented with either a lot of tasks or a big task that you're not sure how to break down. And a great tool for helping you maybe break it down into a more digestible chunk is using something called Goblin Tools. Now, this is AI powered, but essentially you can put in a task and it'll create a checklist of activities to do to help you build into that big activity to help you complete it. So think about what you want to achieve. I've put an example on the screen and you can see that it creates 5 different tasks for me to do to help me achieve my overall task. It can help create work that you might not have realized that needed to be completed by suggesting tasks and activities to help you achieve that overall goal. You can control how complex or how many tasks you want there to be. And I do find it's really a beneficial tool just to have a look at and engage with. How can I organize my day? You might think, oh, I just create a list, but sometimes it can generate something that you think, oh, that actually might be a little bit more beneficial. And the goals themselves, they're not there to replace the task, they're there to help you think about the task and then organize it in a way that would then benefit you. The last tool that I would recommend, and this encompasses a lot of the mental and physical health, is Calm. I've left the link down in the description, but Calm is here with a lot of resources that you can access to help you reduce things like anxiety, stress, and improve things like sleep. They've put together a free article that you can read through, and it goes over some amazing tips to help you improve your digital wellness and general well-being. That brings me to an end of the session. Now, there's lots of different resources you can access on wellness. I'll leave some of them down in the description. Like I mentioned at the start, if you are a University of Staffordshire student and you'd like to find more information about Wellness Out, there is the digital wellness article over on LibGuides you can access. If you're in need of some support from the Digital Mental Service. To do this, head over to Beacon and use the search bar to search for well-being. From here, select the Wellbeing and Safeguard tab, and you'll be able to access both the email, so you can send an email to the Wellbeing team, or scroll down and select Appointments. By selecting Appointments, you'll be taken to the Mental Wellbeing team webpage, and you can arrange a student wellbeing appointment by filling out the Microsoft Forms on that tab. Additionally, you'll be able to find all of the other workshops regarding digital skills over on LibGuides as well. So please feel free to access all of the services that you might require. If you're outside of the University of Staffordshire, I will leave some support links for you to access regarding digital wellness as well.